Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me on my channel today where I talk about things, all things planners, fountain pens and fountain pen inks. And today I thought I'd actually do a little video on the pen and ink that I actually use most. And this was not something that I expected because I do a monthly rotation of all of my inks and do currently inked and my 15 inks 30 days. I always thought that I wouldn't have one that I would use all the time. And I thought that I'm going to evenly rotate between all of them because I want to spread the love evenly throughout all of my pens. But no, there is one that sticks out since I got it back in May that I have had continuously inked since then with the same ink, and it is used on a daily basis. So it is the pen and ink that I use most, which was not expected at all. And it is my Pilot Vanishing Point in the black carbonesque, and this has an extra fine nib. And the ink that is currently in here is Pilot Iroshizuku Take Sumi. Like, who am I? Who am I that a black pen and a black ink are the pen and ink that I use most? And even thinking about, the fact that I love shimmer inks, that I love, lovely different color pens like this or like this, or super glittery ones like this. The one pen that I have inked most is one that's very classic, very simple looking. And then the ink that is always in it, and it's probably going to be permanently inked with this ink, it's Pilot Iroshizuku Take Sumi. I'm still in disbelief that that is the combination that I'm using most currently. And I'll tell you why it's a shock to me, other than the fact that I normally love color, I love shimmer, and I love using all of my pens. I am not a black ink fan, or, well, I wasn't a black ink fan until I put these two together. Now, how I came about this was that I wanted a pen and ink combination. Whoops, I've just dropped something. I wanted a pen and ink combination that I wanted to have with me in my, I guess, everyday planner. So my Hobonichi weeks, I wanted a pen and ink that I could take with me out and about and not worry about it. So that's where the Jinhao 10 came along. And I had inked this with Pilot Iroshizuku Take Sumi. I wanted a black ink in here for a planner pen. But then I purchased an extra fine nib. Yes, that is a Pilot Vanishing Point extra fine nib from PenChalet, expecting and knowing that it was going to be scratchy. I've tried Pilot extra fine nibs before, and unfortunately, they don't seem to have the same quality control on the extra fines as they do their fine nibs. For example, like I have a fine nib on this Pilot Kakuno, and I love this so much. Love the fine nibs on these. But the extra fine, oh, there's Lucy. The extra fine just, it didn't have that same smoothness that the fine nib had, but I really wanted something super crisp. So I had Kirk of Pen Realm tune and smooth this for me at the Chicago Pen Show. And after that, it was just perfect. So let's just do a quick writing sample here. And plus, I mean, anyway, I'll get into that. But the brand is Pilot. The model is the Vanishing Point. Oh, this is just so satisfying. The nib is extra fine. This extra fine nib is finer than all the other extra fines that I have, finer than the Yogo extra fine. And the color is black, carbonesque, and it is inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Takesumi. Can you see how crisp that line is? I'm just going to write here the Pilot Vanishing Point Extra Fine, just so you can see how fine that is. I'm going to do a quick comparison with the Pilot Kakuno fine nib. Now, it's not going to be the same because it's got a different ink in here, but you'll see some difference. Pilot Kakuno, and this is the fine. Just even in the writing sample, you can see how much more crisp that extra fine is versus the fine. Now let's look at what an extra fine looks like for a Yovo nib. So this is a Yovo number 6 steel, and this is a fine nib, but this is inked with a Pilot ink as well. You could see the difference in the fine versus the this is the extra fine. What am I talking about? Yes, this is an extra fine. My brain. Extra fine Yovo number 6 steel nib. Let me see. Oh, and then another one I'll compare it to is the fine on my 18K wancher. So this is the 18K on the wancher, and this is a fine. And I thought this was already quite crisp, but this is, you can tell in just the writing sample how much more ink is here versus the Pilot Vanishing Point Extra Fine. And you're probably wondering, why the heck would you want something that tiny? And if it was scratchy, why would you even want it in the first place? For me, I love this combination because let's just look at that, of how crisp my writing looks. And I do have small writing, and I love to write in smaller grids, so 4mm. I love to write in 4mm grids. That's the perfect spacing for me. 5mm or anything larger than that is almost too big for my writing, and I almost struggle to get my writing to fit into that. But also, there's just something so classic about this combination. I love the smoothness, and it's a weird combination of the smoothness and the toothiness of the extra fine. You know you're writing with this one. It's not glassy smooth like the fine, but there is a smoothness in there and a sliciness that I really like. It's smooth yet slicey. But I also feel like if I combine this with any other ink brand, other than Pilot, it would feel completely different. And the combination of the two together, for me, make the perfect planner pairing. And I'll show you an example in my Hobonichi weeks here of why I love this. Now in my weeks, I'll show you here in the back, I used to write daily highlights, and I loved the size of the extra fine nib in here, and it was just so neat. That's what I loved about it. It was so neat, and it was really appealing to me, but I also loved the consistency and the aesthetic of that. So the combination of the extra fine nib with the Pilot Iroshizuku ink for me is my, I won't, okay. Is it my favorite combination? I don't know. That's a hard question. I feel like there's a difference between the pen and ink that I use most versus my favorite ever combination. And it's hard for me to say what my favorite pen and ink combination is because I rotate through my pens and inks every month. But I can functionally say that this is the pen and ink that I use most because I don't rotate any other inks through this pen. Each time it empties out, I immediately put Takesumi in here. Now, I think I know why I don't want to say that this is my favorite pen and ink combination, because that Con 40 converter is definitely the bane. It's I do not like it. And I could certainly put a cartridge in here just to make my life easier. But it's one of the things that I'm willing to deal with in order to have this fantastic combination. But also, I love the ease of use of this. It's so appealing to me. I don't have to twist off a cap and worry about losing it. This is really just for quick notes and I'm done. I really love this combination. I love carrying this with me. It is now the pen that I take out and about with me. I'm very precious with it. I don't want anyone to borrow this pen when I'm out and about, but I'm also very weary of losing this. I mean, I could certainly put that extra fine nib in a Jinhao pen body, but then I'd be worried about losing the 18 karat nib. Oh, look at the mess I've made here. But I definitely worry about the 18, carat nib that I would lose. So love this combination. I take this with me every time I leave the house. It's my planner pen. I use it for every day, filling in my passport planner now and filling in just little notes like this. It allows me to use up so much of that space very, very efficiently. I love the feel of the nib on the Tomoe River paper. I love the combination of that. So it's one that works for me daily. It's my daily driver, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. All right, but that is it for me. This is the pen and ink that I use most, and it was a surprise to me as well. Is there a pen and ink combination that you use the most and you do not change out that pen and ink, or you find yourself re-inking that combination very regularly? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again and have yourselves a great day.